Leap Castle has been the site of some of the grisliest murders in Ireland's history. Since 1991, the castle has belonged to the Ryan family, but the ghosts who also dwell there don't see it that way. When the Ryans discovered that spirits were secretly communicating with their 10-year-old daughter, they decided to take action to try and unravel the mystery of Leap. But there was one question the Ryans hadn't considered. Who is the real master of Leap Castle?
County Tipperary, Ireland. Leap Castle. Since the 14th century, Leap Castle has been a fortress of torment and terror.
The stories that circulate around that castle are remarkable.
There's something in that place. It's evil.
I would never go near that castle again. It's too spooky a place, no way.
When you think of all the terrible murders that have been carried out there over the years, it's not surprising it's haunted.
A literal history of blood.
Originally built to defend the locals, Leap Castle became a weapon used against them.
It wasn't a nice place. We all know about Cromwell arriving here in Ireland to subdue the rebellion. Cromwellian forces arrived at Leap Castle in 1649. They massacred men, women and children. Young fellas brought in there and flogged, and a lot of them were hanged. One brother killed the other, killed the priest on the altar. That place is haunted anyway.
In the summer of 1998, the Ryan family moved into Leap Castle.
I think they're mad. Mad.
And how that man can live in that castle with a little child.
They thought we were crazy, and all the local people said, surely you don't mean to live in it. Oh, we heard stories, all sorts of massacres and killings and family feuds and down through the centuries.
I was a little bit scared when I heard about some of the stories.
We're now in what is known as the Bloody Chapel. There have been many, many killings. 29 MacMahons were actually killed up here in this room. The oubliette, which is over here, which is principally, it's the dungeon. It had quite a long shaft. It was spiked, and it also, it had a door as well, so there was absolutely no coming out. They found then that there was quite a lot of human bones, and it's recorded that they took 2 cartloads, which would be horse cartloads, of bones out of it.
And I didn't know anything about ghosts or spirits or anything else until we actually came to live here. And I've seen mostly shadows. Very often you'd notice a shadow go across the doorway or something like that, or you'd feel that there was somebody in the room with you. I very often think maybe Sean's there and I'm talking away to him, and then I realise there's nobody in the room.
The Ryan's daughter was the first to make contact.
I was sitting on the floor and I was doing a jigsaw, and Mammy and Daddy were talking, and I saw one of them going up the stairs, and I said to Mammy that there was a girl going up the stairs, and she didn't believe me for a long time, and then when she saw it herself, she believed me. They're like a normal person, except they're white and you can't see through them. One of them is taller, one of them is smaller, and they play with each other and they run after each other. They look like they're shouting and screaming at each other, but you can't actually hear them.
There's 2 little girls, we know quite a good bit about them. They're from the early 1600s. There was Charlotte and Emily.
4 centuries ago, the little girl named Emily met a tragic end.
Somebody who came here that they had vision of one of the girls falling from the top of the castle.
They've heard the scream, that was of Emily. Yeah, Emily falling. People who have come in have seen Emily fall and heard her screaming.
I think that they should live here because it's their house as well, and just because we live here doesn't mean they can't.
But not all the spirits of Leap are as innocent as Charlotte and Emily.
We had heard stories from local people that there was this sort of this creature that could be seen on the stairs. It was called the Elemental.
The story about it is that this half human, half sheep announces itself with this horrific smell.
We've discovered that it's the elemental ghost, the size of a sheep, and the face is human. But the worst thing of all is the stench of it. It's seemingly the smell of rotting corpses.
To search for the elemental, the Ryans call upon a pair of Druids, mystic seers from an ancient cult.
There's a power point that rises up. It's like a column of energy.
Don't know what it is. It's not nice. Yeah, smell. Decay.
The Druids burp to prevent the spirits from possessing them.
There's something here. This is a very powerful place.
The Druids believe that only a shaman can heal the tormented spirits of the castle.
When people like me do that healing, it takes the form of connecting with the spirit that has had this traumatic experience and listening and acknowledging their scream. If something very traumatic, very emotional happens in a place where there is strong earth energy, then the imprint of the emotions of that happening are held in the place for a long period of time afterwards. The sound of this old Irish drum again would be familiar to the old spirits of the house.
The shaman made the spirits' wishes known to the family.
There were many, many spirits, but they were very unsettled. You could hear screaming in the background, and they didn't seem at all happy.
They asked for 3 favours. One was not to put any wooden shutters in the windows up in the chapel. The other one was not ever to lock this door here. And the third one was not to panel up this area over here because they like to move in and out there.
I never locked that door now.
We've complied with the rest of the requests.
The Rhine family has yet to learn if the spirits of Leap Castle will rest in peace.
We made a deal and we're going to keep it now.
Yeah, I do think the spirits will be here for a long time after, when we are all gone and dead, and the next people who live in the castle will probably come back to haunt them too.